Now let's look at how you can take accountability for yourself and others using Raptor 6 via the web during an emergency. First, you'll need to access apps.raptortech.com in order to open the Raptor 6 login screen.
And from here, you'll need to enter in your credentials. First, you'll enter in your username, which is typically your school email address, and then you'll click Next. And if your district is using Active Directory integration, well, at this point, your district login page would display. Otherwise, you'll enter in your password and click Login. Once authenticated, this is going to go ahead and open up the emergency management screen. And if there is an incident that has been initiated, it'll display on screen and you'll be able to see some information about it. Well, if you need to access this incident, what you'll need to do is you're going to click on the blue Access Incident button. This opens a new tab on your web browser where you'll perform accountability. You'll see some quick tasks that display, as well as some options in the navigation menu. Now there are multiple ways or areas where you can perform each of the tasks displayed. It's the flexibility of the Raptor system to do the same thing in multiple places. Everything in the quick tasks can be found using one of the options in the navigation menu. So let's take a look at that navigation menu.
The first option is the home screen, the screen that's currently displaying. Beneath that, we have My Profile and Roster, Reunification, Directory, and finally, Documents.
First thing you're going to want to do is click My Profile and Roster. And when you do that, it'll display your profile information as well as those same quick tasks that were on the home page. But notice your status and location are unknown. Now what we want you to do is take accountability for yourself and for your students. You'll click the Walk Me Through Taking Attendance quick task, and any roster information that's being housed in your student information system, well, that information is going to be pulled in to display on screen. So if you have multiple rosters associated with you throughout the day, you're going to choose which roster you want to look at. The Raptor system isn't going to just tell you, okay, it's 10 o'clock and show me the roster for 10 a.m. We're going to show you a list of all your rosters because we know your schedule is flexible. So if we select our Monday, Wednesday, Friday roster specifically for period 5, well then that roster will display, but not only with the students, but with you as well, and you'll be first in the list. Another thing to notice is that this first screen is asking you to select which individuals are to be accounted for,
which just means which students are in front of you and are okay.
Now there are a couple different options on the screen in order to select who we're wanting to account for. We can select the entire roster by selecting the Select All checkbox. We can select a specific individual's checkbox, or we can select a group of individuals by multi-selecting their checkboxes. Let's account for some individuals. So if Silas, Claire, Deborah, Sylvester, and Melvin are all good and they're with me in room 101, we'll click on their checkboxes, and then we'll click Update to access the second part of the accountability process for these individuals, which is adding their location.
You'll click the Select a Location drop-down list to select the appropriate location. But if the location doesn't initially display in the list or isn't found once you start typing, and in our case, room 101, then you'll click the Add Location button. A pop-up will display and ask if you're sure you want to add the new location, and if so, click OK. Then you'll click Update, and once the information is updated, we'll get an Update Successful message, and it'll take us to the next status that needs to be updated, asking, are any individuals absent?
If you click Yes, you'll notice it takes us back to your roster. And remember, those individuals that we just accounted for, now their status and locations have been updated. If we scroll down to those individuals that are in bold, those are individuals we need to set statuses for. And if we're going to be marking those individuals that are absent, one thing that you need to be aware of is those individuals that have been marked absent within your student information system, that information will not pull over to the Raptor system. We want you to manually account for all of your students. So even if they've been marked absent in your student information system, you'll still need to come and update their status within the Raptor system. So what we're going to go ahead and do is select Damon since he's absent today, and then we'll click Update. Once the update is complete, we get that update successful message, and it's asking our next status to be updated. Are any individuals missing? Now you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, why didn't I have to do a location? When we're dealing with absent and missing individuals, we don't need to set a location. All right, well, are there any individuals missing? If we click yes, once again, it's going to open up your roster, and you'll notice that Damon's information has been updated. If we scroll down, and let's say Kendall is missing, if we select her and then click update, what that's going to do, it updates their information, and now we see that update successful message, and we're moved to the next status that needs to be updated. Are there any individuals that are injured? If you click yes, once again, it opens up that roster with all the updated information, and let's say we need to select Jessica and Charles. They're both injured. When we click those checkboxes and click the update, now we need to add their location.
You'll click the Select a Location drop-down list and select the appropriate location or create a new one if needed. In our case, they're with us, so we'll select room 101 and then click Update.
This gives us that update successful message, and now we get a new header that says 1 of 11 people have not been updated. Now if we haven't updated individuals on that roster, we can either click Done or we can click View Roster, and that will go ahead and open up the roster. We look for that individual that's bold, meaning we haven't updated them yet. We'll select that individual and then click the Update Status and Location. From there, we'll select the appropriate status, in this case, accounted for.
You'll then click the Select a Location drop-down list and select the appropriate location or create a new one if needed. In our case, we'll select room 101 and then click Update.
This once again gives us the update successful message, and once again the information that's displaying on the roster is updated. So now you've accounted for the status and location for yourself and all the students on the selected roster. But what do you do if you have a student who's not on your roster? Or what if you're a nurse or a librarian who doesn't have a roster formally assigned to you? How do you account for individuals in these situations? Well, what we'll need to do is over in the navigation menu, we're going to select
Directory.
This screen gives you access to everyone throughout the entire building, so you can account for any student, any staff member, or any visitors or volunteers that have signed into your building.
Now this is assuming you're using the Raptor 6 Visitor Management solution. But also on this screen, you have the ability to filter what displays and what you're searching for. So if you click the All button, you can filter this list to display only students, only staff members, or those other individuals that potentially are in your building.
Let's say we have a student by the name of Jen Anthony that's in our room, but she's not part of our roster. So from this Student, Staff, and Other screen, click in that Search for an Individual box and start typing her name of Jen Anthony. Notice it's filtering, and now we see Jen Anthony. There's a couple different options we can do to take accountability for her. We can select her checkbox and click the Update Status and Location, where we would select the appropriate status of accounted for.
And then we would select or add a location. In our case, we're going to select room 101 and click Update.
Now, this will get that same Update Successful message, and her information has been updated. But the other option we have is by clicking on her name, which is a link. It'll open up her record where we can see information about her, as well as click that update status and location and follow the same process, or see additional information like medical information or guardian information.
Okay, so let's use the breadcrumbs to go back to the directory screen and clear out our search results.
If you have another staff member that you need to account for, let's say Abby Bonner is in our classroom and she was helping out with something. Again, you can use the search bar to search for her name. You can click the link to open up her profile in order to update her information. Or again, like we've done before, select the checkbox, click Update Status and Location. We'll choose that accounted for status, and then the location we'll select room 101. We'll click Update, Again, we get the update successful message and Abby Bonner's information has been updated.
Let's clear out the search results, and if you have a visitor or volunteer that's in your class at the time of the incident, well, you're going to need to take accountability for them as well. You can go ahead and search for their name, or you can filter the list by clicking the filter button and selecting Other as the filter criteria. This will display all of the visitors and volunteers that are currently signed into your school using the Raptor 6 Visitor Management solution. Now, you can go ahead and click on the link to open up the profile, or you can select their checkbox and click the Update Status and Location button and follow the same procedures that we've seen in our other examples.
There'll be times when you want or need additional information. And if you click on Documents over in the navigation menu, well, that's going to display any documents that your district has chosen to upload to the Raptor system, such as school maps, emergency operational procedures, lockdown drill guidelines, or just general emergency response information. Now, if we click Home to go back to the main screen, the screen you land on when you access the incident, I just want to reiterate the flexibility of the Raptor system and being able to do the same thing in multiple different areas. So every task you've seen in this video that we selected from the navigation menu, those same tasks display in the Quick Tasks section. The walk me through taking attendance, update my status and location, access my rosters, and view my emergency contacts can all be found under My Profile and Roster.
View My Emergency Documents can be found under Documents, and Search for an Individual can be found under Directory. One last item. At any time you need to communicate with your colleagues or leadership, click the General button in the lower right corner from any screen to display a chat channel. You can enter a note or a message, and this will be available for everyone to see. And when your leadership or others add messages, you'll see them here as well. As a best practice tip, keep all messages relevant and/or actionable. You should now feel comfortable and confident knowing what Raptor Alert is, the mobile app interface, the difference between an emergency and a team assist, how to initiate both an emergency and team assist, the features available to you once they've been initiated, as well as how to take accountability either through your mobile device or over the web during an emergency.